any cameras by our faces, and usually the camera comes by your.
It's usually good here, and there's gonna be a lot of people here. And
being dumb for Liam, you're usually acting towards like.
You should look at my face.
I'm trying, but it's so close.
Happy to be alive.
Well, I usually just make
usually have the foundation and.
Usually I don't like my work. I tend not to, but I like.
In each scene, there's usually one little lie.
I'm in a bad goddamn mood. Now, I usually don't jump in with some
Song.
Usually things like war, what is it good for, or these boots.
Hurting people will usually go to jail.
Isn't this awesome?
Not usually.
Foreign exchange student.
about it, okay? Usually by this time, you and I would be going back and
I hope that I'm hugely famous. Good night to you, sir.
Usually take the spot.
I don't get it, Tyrell.
How?
Problem, because you know, usually she sails through school.
Are you doing this for me? Are you trying to protect me?
Punishment usually came after the crime.
shield takes the world.
You usually wind up shooting at me, too.
you know it's about
Do now.
What do I usually do when something stands in my way?
Cover for you like I usually do. There you go. Thanks.
A little late. Could have used you about 6 hours ago. Better late than... Russ!
We're here, Dad. Much as I usually mind pessimism.
That's great. I hate people.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pollito is usually very friendly. You got it wrong.
Usually the first picture was the best one. Make sure.
We usually don't pick up hitchhikers.
Usually do cameos in any way. And then, you know, like I like a little kind of like sort of...
Usually guys just, put
My brother's house is usually a place of comfort to me, but seeing...
I don't know.
I don't know.
Usually the ones who like an obscure one, but...
cool and collected usually, that it's tough to break through.
No, I mean, not that.
Tell us a joke.
I usually do that on stage.
I truly felt that. And I don't usually do that with scripts.
Because you're not usually playing such a bad guy, but...
Maybe it's just me, but his crowd seems unusually small for this type of moment.
You know, if I tell her something that's going on in my life, her reaction is usually about her. It's not.
Are those things usually done in person?
No.
Or if you're usually this inept, but you've been wrong about most of these.
I guess so, I usually am.
Same chair, same perfume, same
Eyes in the world, he has to use what he sees. There's nothing else to use.
Don't usually get to see, we just hear about. I'm trying topics that aren't usually explored on film.
Director, you're usually the only one.
Yeah. Guild Award, which is usually the biggest predictor for...
It also looks like foreign money. Look, that's not American money.
Yeah, and honestly, usually the quality of them are pretty solid. So aren't usually very satisfied with their lives.
Now, there's a but it's usually like the last thing you would expect with visually with that.
And it's really interesting.
Usually should get a laugh.
Okay.
And this one time, I would usually not, I would try to kind of go to a...
You're always very articulate, usually in your characters. This is a woman.
Usually not that clumsy in the car. 2 flat tires! Usually 2 flat tires! Usually I'm quite dexterous. How in the world are we...
Dombrowski? Seriously, you hired a chick? Yeah. Former kid.
Long takes, usually with filming, on the whole.
Usually, for most of us, been a close to total investment.
An illusion of some kind, but usually when I'm working...
Are going to have a liquid lunch.
We usually get effed up.
Very visually. When I write, I usually write with actors in mind. Well, in this...
That's it! He is out!
Sorry, usually does this with poodles.
into fights frequently, usually defending his younger brother.
Try that before the fish.
Should we help her? Right? I'm usually good at reading people, right? But you're...
The kind of policeman he's usually been, and he's not very...
Usually quiet. They don't really take hard drugs.
Guests walk into the hotel, I usually say, welcome back. Hotel, I usually say, welcome back. Welcome back!
Something's gotta give. Usually, it's his face.
My grandma told me it's usually people who still have stuff to... Grandma told me it's usually people who still have stuff to figure...
Hey, you're gonna go, okay? So, first of all, you need to know that...
I usually hate fast cutting. I think every time...
Floods, anything like that?
No, usually the bad guys don't give us time.
Killed more times than I can count. Now, usually, I toss...
It's usually just a pit stop for most people.
I like it here.
You know, people who usually do best in these situations,
this girl? Excuse me, I'm Sandy Wexler. Don't we talk?
Usually take kitties from the back. Now that's how doctors do it. You taking my kidney?
I am.
Don't you usually take kitties from the back?
It might mean nothing to you, but it means something to me. Sorry.
Documentary, which that's usually a rare thing that a movie can please the.
And no one usually turns him down, and he will not be.
Why?
Banter usually implies ulterior motives.
I'm not hitting on the studio, you know. Usually you're amazed when you...
I usually get kind of an asexual vibe.
I never pictured it with
Portly rhymed. He's usually making speeches about.
I like to have guests around, like during the middle of the week, you know, when I'm working. But you know, you guys are.
Gets a lease, usually 20 years. Takes our construction loan.
Goes up to capo level usually, then nothing.
Your balls. They're usually sneaking around parked cars like.
所以我觉得这个合作充满了历史意义。
It's so special to be a part.
Get around in 5 helicopters usually. It's quite a spectacle when we turn up. Peter, Caro, Zane.
Yeah, usually they're pretty quick. Here we go. We have from.
Usually admire her. You can. I mean, I don't have words.
Find children. That usually helps.
Well, with all dead, there's usually only one thing that you can do.
Usually just aspects of their human selves enhanced.
Usually the zombies are seen as the bad guys, and enough.
But I've never heard of one. Usually, is the fly.
Once people settle in, they usually leave.
I'm sorry, Harry. I know it's New Year's Eve. I know you're feeling.
Usually, when somebody pulls shit like that, my first reaction is,